and all of us are just itching to get outside more, including our four-legged friends.
Very slowly. But what happens if you're out and you get hurt by a dog? Lawyer Twillie, the founding attorney at LA Law, is here to guide us through the process if something happens to you. Good morning, lawyer.
Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Caitlin. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for joining us. Okay, so this is obviously a topic that a lot of people have questions about.
Yeah.
It probably happens more frequently than we think about, too, getting injured, hurt, bit by a dog. But we're not talking about dog bites today. We're just talking about falling over, like getting knocked down by a dog, like maybe a rambunctious dog, right?
Correct. Yeah, so one of the things that most people don't realize is that we're in a strict liability state when it comes to dogs. So if a dog knocks over your Aunt Gertrude and she breaks an ankle, you're on the hook for that, even though there was no bite. So it's really important that people, if you're going to have your dogs off leash, you have really good control of them. And sometimes actually what we see is a lot of times, and I used to be guilty of this when my daughter was younger, is we allow our children to sort of, walk the dogs and they don't have complete control, and next thing you know, they're getting pulled and the dog's free, and then it's knocking somebody over. So you're on the hook for those injuries. So you gotta, or the damages that they cause. So
so I think Mike and I both own dogs. How do we necessarily, like if we're out and about just walking the dog, maybe on leash, you just mentioned kids. Some adults too, I'm guilty of this. I'm always like, oh, I want to touch, I want to pet, I want to, dogs are our best friends. Sometimes they're not though. Some dogs aren't as friendly. Some of them are service dogs. You have to maybe ask first. Some people aren't the best at asking. They just kind of approach.
Agree.
Is that still your fault?
Yes, again, well, yes and no. So first of all, I have 3 dogs, so I'm all on board with the dog thing. And you have to be a responsible owner, but you have to be a responsible person. So you can't just go, pet another dog touch another dog or a strange dog without asking permission. As an owner of a dog, if somebody does that and your dog snaps, you're on the hook. I mean, the statute basically says tormenting or teasing is a defense that you can raise, but reaching down to pet a dog is not tormenting or teasing. So again, you'd be on the hook for that. So be a responsible dog owner. Make sure that your dog is well trained. If for whatever reason you have that dog out in public, and let's say you're walking a trail or you're walking the reservoir, and you're going to encounter a lot of people, and there's going to be kids or whatever, maybe you have a soft muzzle on the dog, or maybe you just warn people not to touch your dog or approach your dog because it's going to happen.
So it sounds like a lot of this is related to mitigation. You know your dog best. The best way to deal with it is to deal with it up front, right?
Correct. You know your dog, be responsible, and if you're going to have them out in public where people are going to want to touch them, then deal with that appropriately.
So how does that apply to, say, those open-air, off-leash dog parks?
Again, you're still on the hook. So I love taking dogs to the dog park. Be a responsible owner. One of the things that we often see at dog parks, at dog park situations, is owners will let their dogs go, and the next thing you know, they're just off having a conversation with another dog owner, not watching their dog, not making sure that their dog isn't starting to be aggressive or cause a problem or whatever. So it really just comes down to being responsible, making sure that you're aware of what's going on around you, and taking appropriate steps.
Absolutely.
All right, very good. So obviously we're talking about dog bites are a totally different story. We've talked about that before in the past, but I mean, even something as simple as on or off leash, just literally accidentally knocking somebody down, right?
Knocking a little child over, causing an injury, doing damage to property. We've had cases where a dog got loose from a kid, ran across the street, somebody had to swerve in order to avoid hitting the dog and the child that was running after it, and they hit a pole. You're on the hook for that.
And as the dog owner.
As the dog owner. So so you're going to get a call from a lawyer who's saying, hey, what do you have for homeowners insurance?
And how does that affect the person who then, with the auto insurance, who hit the pole?
Well, I mean, it depends. Generally, they're going to have to go through their own insurance carrier to fix the property damage. Their carrier may subrogate over to the homeowner's insurance, but it's a long process, and you could see your rates go up.
All right, thanks, lawyer. We appreciate that. We're going to have much more coming up over on The Wax. We'll see you over there. Have a great day, everybody.